The alarm bells rang through the Coalition space station. Red lights flashed in every hallway and room. Ambassador N spread his feathered wings in distress as he read the message on his screen. His people, were bird-like creatures with blue and silver feathers. They were peaceful and smart, but not built for fighting. Another attack, he said to himself. His voice sounded like wind chimes in the quiet room. The message was simple but terrible. Research Outpost Gamma 7 was under attack. The swarm had found it. There were insect-like raiders who destroyed everything they touched. They moved in huge groups, eating resources and killing anyone in their way. The outpost had 23 scientists inside. All of them would die if no help came. N called an emergency meeting. Within an hour, the Coalition Council room was full. Representatives from different species sat around the large circular table. Each one looked worried. Of the people spoke first. Her species lived in water and wore special suits to move on land. Her voice came through a speaker on her helmet. "We must send help immediately. Those scientists have families." "I agree," said a crystalline being whose body glowed with soft light. "But who can we send? They are on a volcanic moon. The temperature there is 90 degrees. The air is poison. My people would die in minutes." N nodded sadly. "My people cannot fight. We are explorers, not warriors. The heat alone would kill us." Made a bubbling sound that meant frustration in her language. "My people need water. We cannot survive in that environment either." Around the table, every species had the same problem. The Coalition was built on peace and science. They had defense forces, but those forces were designed for space battles, not ground rescue missions. And the volcanic moon where Outpost Gamma 7 sat was too dangerous for almost any Coalition species. "Our regular forces would take weeks to prepare," said General, a reptilian being with gray scales. "They would need special equipment, cooling suits, air filters. By then, everyone at the outpost will be dead." The room fell silent. The only sound was the hum of the station's life support systems. N looked at his data pad. There had to be someone, anyone. Then he saw a file marked "Recent Contacts Unconfirmed." His fingers moved across the screen. He found a species that had just been discovered 3 months ago. "Humans," he read aloud, "from a planet called Earth." "I have heard of them," said. "They are new to space travel, very primitive technology compared to ours. What help could they offer?" N opened the file and read the basic information. His eyes went wide. "Their planet is classified as Class 12. Every being in the room turned to look at him. His glow brightened with surprise. "That is impossible. The highest classification we have ever recorded is Class 9. Class 12 would mean a world that actively tries to kill everything living on it," General finished. His voice was quiet with shock. N kept reading. "Gravity is one standard. That is 3 times what most of us can survive. The atmosphere is 21% oxygen, which is highly flammable. The planet has violent weather, moving Earth plates and predatory life forms at every level." "And intelligent life evolved there?" asked. She could not believe it. "Not just evolved," N continued. "They became the top predators. They are classified as persistence hunters. Their planet tried to kill them for millions of years, and they survived." The room was quiet again, but this time it was different. It was the quiet of fear mixed with hope. "Do we have a way to contact them?" General asked. N checked his files. "Yes, they have a ship near the border. They have been exploring, making peaceful contact with other species. They seem friendly." "Friendly predators from a hell world," said. "I'm not sure if that makes me feel better or worse." "We have no other choice," said firmly. "Those scientists need help now. If these humans can survive their own planet, maybe they can survive that moon long enough to rescue our people." The council voted. Everyone agreed, though many were scared of what they were about to do. They were inviting into Coalition space. beings who could probably kill them all with their bare hands, but the alternative was letting their people die. N sent the message himself. He explained the situation clearly. He told them about the danger, the environment, and how impossible the mission was. He expected them to refuse or at least ask for time to prepare. The answer came back in less than 5 minutes. "We accept. Our team will arrive in 72 hours. Send us the coordinates and any information about the enemy. We will bring your people home." 72 hours. It would take coalition ships 6 days to make that same journey. These humans moved fast. "What have we done?" whispered. N did not answer. He was wondering the same thing. In 3 days, they would meet beings from a world so dangerous it broke the classification scale. Beings who had evolved to survive constant danger. Beings who said they would rescue coalition scientists without a second thought. He looked at the file again. There was a note at the bottom from the science team who first made contact with humans. It said, "Species shows high levels of empathy and pack bonding. Will risk own lives for others, even strangers. Approach with caution but also with trust." N closed his eyes and hoped they were doing the right thing. The swarm was deadly, but now something else was coming. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Humans were coming, and they had no idea what that meant. The human ship arrived early. N was in the observation deck when the alarms went off. Not danger alarms, but proximity warnings. Something was coming in fast, too fast. "Impossible," said the flight controller. "Nothing moves that fast in real space. It would tear itself apart." But there it was on the screen. A human ship, smaller than coalition vessels, moving at speeds that made the sensors flash red warnings. It did not slow down gradually like normal ships. It just stopped. The sudden change in speed should have turned everyone inside into liquid. "They are hailing us," the controller said. His feathers were standing up in shock. "And they are asking permission to dock." Arrived at the observation deck, her water suit sloshing as she moved quickly. "They are early, 2 full cycles early. How?" "I do not know," Anne admitted, "but they are here." The ship docked with a heavy clang that shook the entire station. Coalition ships docked gently, using magnetic fields and careful movements. This human ship just locked on hard and fast, like a predator biting down on prey. The docking bay doors opened. In and waited with a dozen guards. The guards were there for show more than protection. If the humans wanted to hurt them, N doubted the guards could stop them. The human airlock opened with a hiss of pressure. Steam came out, and through it walked the first human any of them had ever seen in person. He was tall, much taller than N, and N was not small for N. The human wore a simple gray uniform with symbols on the shoulders. His skin was tan, his hair black and short, but it was his eyes that made N step back. They faced forward, predator eyes, eyes meant for hunting. "I am Captain," the human said. His voice was deep and calm. "We came as fast as we could." Behind him came 3 more humans. A woman with long black hair tied back carried medical equipment. Another woman with short hair and hard eyes carried weapons openly. A young man with bright eyes pulled a large case of tools. "I am Ambassador N," he managed to say. "This is Military Coordinator. We are grateful you came." Smiled, it showed teeth. N tried not to think about how those teeth looked sharp and strong. "You called for help, we help. That is what neighbors do." The woman with medical equipment stepped forward. "I am the medic." She set her kit down on the floor. It hit with a heavy thud that cracked the tile slightly. She did not seem to notice. "Do you have medical files on the scientists we are rescuing? I need to know their biology." "Yes, of course," said. She was staring at. The medical kit probably weighed as much as his entire body. The human woman had carried it in one hand like it was nothing. The woman with weapons nodded once. "Soldier." She did not smile. Her eyes scanned the room constantly, looking for threats. The young man with tools waved. "I am the engineer. I can fix almost anything." He seemed friendly and relaxed, not like someone about to go on a deadly mission. "Let us go to the briefing room," N said. "We need to explain the situation fully." They walked through the station. Other coalition species stopped to stare at the humans. The humans were too tall, too heavy, too solid. They moved with confidence and power that made everyone nervous. In the briefing room, N pulled up images of the volcanic moon. "This is Outpost Gamma 7. The temperature on the surface is 90 degrees. The atmosphere is mostly sulfur and carbon dioxide. It will burn your lungs." "How long can your people breathe it?" asked, taking notes. "Not at all. They have sealed suits, but the suits are damaged. They have maybe 12 hours of air left." Nodded slowly. "We need to move fast then." General entered the room. He looked at the humans and his scales turned a darker gray, showing his stress. "The swarm has surrounded the outpost. We count at least 300 warriors, maybe more underground. They are very fast, very aggressive. They have cutting claws and acid spit." Made a small sound. It might have been a laugh. "Bugs, we can handle bugs." "These are not small," said, offended. "Each warrior is the size of your vehicle." "Still bugs," said. Was looking at the structural plans of the outpost. "The building is damaged. Life support is failing. We need to repair it or everyone dies even if we stop the—" "Can you repair it in that environment?" asked. "The heat, the toxic air." Shrugged. "Probably. I have worked in worse." That made everyone stare. What could be worse than a volcanic moon? Turned to his team. "Standard rescue operation. You prep for multiple species medical care. You take point on combat. Focus on keeping systems running. I will coordinate." He looked at N. "We will need minimal equipment. Environmental suits, basic weapons, and transportation to the surface." "Minimal equipment," N repeated. "Captain, this mission is extremely dangerous. Our best soldiers would need heavy armor, automated weapons, support drones." "We work better light," interrupted gently. "Heavy armor slows us down. We will take environmental suits for the air, but that is all we need." "You will die," said. The crystalline being had entered quietly. "Your biology may be more resistant than ours, but this moon will kill you." Check something on her data pad. Earth gravity is 1 standard. This moon is only 0.4. We will be much faster there. Earth's average temperature is 15 degrees, but we have places that reach 50 degrees regularly. 90 is hot but survivable for short periods. Our suits will handle the air. "What about the," demanded, 300 warriors? Spoke up. "How fast are they?" "Very fast. They can run at 40 kilometers per hour. Looked at, we can run 42 kilometers per hour. For hours, can they?" Did not know what to say. His species could run maybe 15 kilometers per hour for a few minutes before exhausting themselves. The idea of running at 40 for hours was insane. "Humans are persistence hunters," explained. "We evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We can run longer than almost anything. If they want to run, we will catch them eventually." Made her bubbling sound again. "You plan to chase down the, like prey?" "If needed," said. "But we prefer to be smart about it. Hit fast, extract the scientists, get out. Simple." "Simple," N repeated. Nothing about this was simple. They were talking about dropping onto a hell moon to fight an army of giant insects, and these humans called it simple. Finished reviewing the medical files. "I can work with this, though I am curious about one thing. Ambassador, your file says you weigh 30 pounds. Is that correct?" "Yes," N said. Picked up her medical kit again with one hand. "This kit weighs 70 pounds. On Earth, I carry 2 of these for long missions." The room went silent. She was twice as heavy as their ambassador and considered that normal carrying weight. What kind of world made beings this strong? Stood, "We should leave within the hour. Every minute counts. Our ship is ready." 1 hour, General said. "We need to plan, coordinate, establish communication protocols." "We have a plan," said. "We go there, we get your people, we come back. Everything else we can figure out on the way." They left the briefing room. N watched them go, these beings from a world that should not exist. They were about to attempt a mission that every coalition expert said was impossible. And they seemed confident they would succeed. "What have we done?" whispered again. This time N answered. "Maybe we have done something right. Maybe we have found the allies we always needed. Or maybe they had invited nightmares into their home. Time would tell." The human ship dropped through the atmosphere of the volcanic moon like a falling stone. Inside the Coalition Command Center, N watched the feeds from their surveillance drones with growing horror. "They are going to crash," said. Her voice shook. The ship did not crash. At the last possible moment, it pulled up hard and released 4 figures. The humans jumped from their ship while it was still moving. They fell 50 feet and landed running. "Impossible," General whispered. But there they were on the screen. Captain and hitting the ground in their light environmental suits and immediately moving toward the outpost. The moon's surface was cracked and glowing with heat. Rivers of lava ran in the distance. The air was thick with ash and sulfur. The humans did not slow down. "Temperature reading is 93 degrees at their location," a technician reported. "Toxic gas levels are critical. They should not be able to move that fast in those conditions." "They are not like us," N said quietly. He was beginning to understand that fully now. On the screen took point. 2 more humans had come from the ship behind them, Minu and both soldiers. All 3 moved in formation, weapons ready. They approached the outpost where the swarm had gathered. The first warrior spotted them and shrieked. It was massive, standing 8 feet tall on 6 legs. Its claws were like curved blades. It charged at the humans with terrible speed. Did not run. She aimed her weapon and fired 3 shots. They fell and stopped moving. 2 more appeared, Minu, and shot them down efficiently. "They are fighting back," said, his glow brightening with hope. Then the real swarm came. Dozens of poured out from the rocks and ruins. They moved in a dark wave, chittering and clicking. Their claws scraped against stone. Their mandibles dripped with acid. The humans changed tactics immediately. His voice came through the communication system. "Take Minu and left. Draw them off. We need to reach the entrance." "Copy that," said. The 3 soldiers split from the group and ran. The seeing prey moving chased them. Most of the swarm followed the soldiers. "They are sacrificing themselves," said. "Those 3 cannot fight that many." But the humans were not fighting. They were running. And they ran fast, faster than the expected. The insects screeched in frustration as the humans pulled ahead, then stopped, turned, and shot 5 before running again. "They are using pursuit tactics," realized. "They are making the chase them, wearing them down." On the other screen and reached the outpost entrance. The door was damaged and sealed, pulled out tools and started working. It took him 30 seconds to open it. They disappeared inside. "What is happening now?" N demanded. "Can we see inside?" "Switching to internal drones," the technician said. The view changed to show the inside of the outpost. It was a mess. Walls were broken. Fires burned in corners. And there, huddled in a sealed medical bay, were the coalition scientists. 23 beings from different species, all terrified. "Open the door to the bay carefully. We are here to help. I am Captain from Earth. We are evacuating you." The scientists stared at him. One, and like N, spoke with a shaking voice. "Are you real, not another trick?" "Very real," said, entering with her medical kit. "Anyone injured? We need to check everyone before we move." She worked fast. Her hands moved with practiced skill, checking each scientist. When she found one with a broken leg, she made a sound of sympathy and set the bone so quickly the scientist barely had time to cry out. "Sorry," said, "but we need to move fast. Can you walk?" I think so," the scientist said, shocked at how little pain there was now. Was at the control panel. Life support is almost dead. Give me 2 minutes. His fingers moved over the controls. He hit one panel hard with his fist. It sparked and came back to life. Percussive maintenance, he said with a smile. Always works. Outside and her team were still running. They chased them across the volcanic plain. Back in the command center, coalition officers watched in disbelief. They have been running for 30 minutes, one said. At full speed, how? Look at the pointed. On screen, some of the insects were slowing. Their movements became sloppy. They could not maintain the chase. Notice, too, she stopped and turned. Now, she said to her team. The 3 humans opened fire. The exhausted from the chase could not dodge well. They fell one by one. The one still strong enough to fight charged. Minyu drew a knife and met one head-on. He dodged the claws, moved under the creature's guard, and drove the knife into a joint in its armor. The collapsed. Did he just kill one with a knife? Asked in shock. He did, N confirmed. He felt cold despite his feathers. Was circling another. The creature was twice his size and looked deadly, but moved with confidence. When the struck, he rolled aside and shot it from below. Perfect technique. Perfect timing. Inside the outpost was leading the scientists toward the exit. Stay close. Stay quiet. We will get you out. A burst through a wall. It shrieked and lunged at the group, pushed the scientists back and faced the creature alone. He had only a pistol that had claws and acid and rage. Shot it in the eyes. The screamed and thrashed, dodged, rolled, and shot again. The creature fell, was already there with her medical kit, checking if anyone got splashed with acid. Everyone okay? Asked. The scientists nodded, too scared to speak. They had never seen anyone fight like that, so calm, so efficient. The group made it outside. The human ship came down fast, landing close. The door opened. Move, move, called. The scientists ran for the ship, helped the injured ones, covered the rear, watching for more. 3 warriors appeared from the rocks. His weapon clicked, empty. He dropped it and pulled out a knife. Get them on the ship, he told. You cannot. Go. Got the last scientist aboard. She turned to help, but he was already fighting. He moved between the 3 with speed that should not be possible. He was dodging claws, rolling under attacks, striking at weak points. He was not trying to kill them. He was buying time. I need support at the ship, said into his communicator. His voice was steady even as he fought. On our way, replied. Minyu and came running. They had been fighting for an hour straight. They should have been exhausted. They should have been slow. They were not. They moved like they had just started. They reached and opened fire. The 3 fell. More were coming from the distance. The ground shook with the sound of the swarm approaching. Time to go, said. The humans ran for the ship. They made it inside just as the swarm reached them. The door closed. The ship lifted off hard, engines screaming, jumped at it but fell back to the burning ground. In the command center, everyone was silent. They had watched humans fight an army on a volcanic. They had watched them run for hours without stopping. They had watched them risk their lives for people they did not even know. Incoming transmission, the technician said. His face appeared on the screen. He looked tired, but he was smiling. All 23 scientists recovered, all alive. We are coming back. N felt his wings lift with relief. You did it. You actually did it. We said we would, replied. That is what neighbors do. The communication ended, turned to N. Those are not just soldiers, they are something else, something we have never seen before. They are survivors, N said. From a world that tried to kill them every day. They learned to fight back. They learned to never give up. They learned to protect each other no matter the cost. And now they are protecting us, added. General stared at the screen where the human ship was returning. They have conquered 100 worlds. They have destroyed countless species. But today, they met something they could not break. Said real. and somewhere in the distance, the swarm chittered and clicked. They did not understand what had just happened. They did not know why their prey had not died. They did not know that they had just met humanity. But they would learn. The whole galaxy would learn. The human ship docked with the station. The rescued scientists were taken to the medical bay immediately. Coalition doctors worked alongside to treat everyone. The humans stayed to help even though they looked exhausted. N watched from the observation window as explained human medical techniques to confused doctors. She had been fighting and running for hours. She should have been in medical care herself. Instead, she was making sure everyone else was safe first. "Your people are strange," N said to who stood beside him. "How so?" asked. "You put others before yourselves, even strangers, even aliens you just met." Shrugged, "That is just being decent. We help because we can, because it is right." Before N could respond, alarms rang out. Red lights flashed. General's voice came over the speakers. "Emergency council meeting, immediately." They rushed to the council room. When everyone was gathered, activated the main screen. It showed the volcanic moon again. But something was wrong. The readings were different. "We sent drones to monitor the after the rescue," explained. "What we found is very bad. They are not just raiding the outpost. They are building something under it." The screen changed to show images from deep underground. There, in massive caverns beneath the research station, was a hive. And at the center of it, enormous and terrible, was the swarm queen. "By the stars," whispered, "she is huge." The queen was 50 feet long, bloated with eggs. Dozens of workers fed her and carried away eggs to other chambers. The hive was already established. It was growing. "If the queen starts reproducing fully, the swarm will grow too large to stop," said. "They will consume this entire system. Then they will spread to others." "We need to destroy it," said. "Coalition protocol is clear. We evacuate to safe distance and use orbital bombardment. Destroy the entire moon if necessary." "Wait," said. She had entered the room with the other humans. "There are still 3 scientists in there. We saw them on the scanners. They are trapped in a section near the reactor core." The room went silent. "That is impossible," said. "Our scans showed 23 life signs. You rescued 23. "Check again," said. Her voice was hard. "We saw 3 more signatures, very faint. They are in sealed compartments. Maybe the signals were blocked before." A technician checked. His feathers stood up. "She is right, 3 life signs, very weak. They are in the lower levels, near the reactor." "Near the queen," added. Shook his head. "We cannot risk a second mission. They will be ready now. They know we came once. And those 3 are too close to the reactor core. The radiation alone would kill any rescue team before they reached them." "Not any team," said quietly. Everyone looked at him. "You cannot be serious," N said. "You just came back from an impossible mission. You want to go back." "3 people are still down there," said. "We do not leave people behind, ever." "The radiation will kill you," said. "The heat near the reactor is 200 degrees. The queen is there. Hundreds of warriors guard her. This is not just impossible, it is suicide." Was checking her data pad. "We have radiation suits, not perfect, but they will give us time." Nodded. "I can create a path to the reactor. Maybe use controlled explosions to clear the way." Just checked her weapons. "How many?" "You are all insane," said. "I cannot allow this." "With respect," General said, "you do not have to allow it. We are volunteers. We make our own choices. And we choose to get those 3 people out." Turned to his team. "Vote who is willing to go back." Every human raised their hand immediately. No hesitation, no fear. Minyu spoke up. "We did not come all this way to leave people behind." Nodded. 3 people are counting on us. We do not disappoint." N felt something strange in his chest. It might have been hope, or it might have been shame that his own people would never do something so dangerous for strangers. If you are going, we will support you however we can. Agreed, I will coordinate from here. Tell us what you need. Maps of the lower levels said, and if possible, a way to disrupt the communication. They communicate through pheromones, said. I can create a chemical disperser. It will confuse them for a limited time. Every second helps, said. Within an hour, they were ready. The humans stood in the docking bay in heavy radiation suits. These suits were thicker and slower than their light environmental gear, but they were necessary. N approached one last time. Why are you doing this, really? Looked at him with those predator eyes, but they were not cold. They were warm, human. My planet tried to kill us for millions of years. Storms, earthquakes, predators, disease. We survived because we protected each other, because we never left anyone behind. That is what makes us human. That is what makes life worth living. You might die down there, N said. Maybe, admitted, but those three might live. That is what matters. The human ship launched. Coalition drones followed it down. This time, everyone in the command center watched. No one spoke. They just watched as the humans descended into hell again. The ship landed closer to the outpost this time. The humans moved out quickly. They carried more weapons now, heavier equipment. They knew what they were facing. Chemical disperser activated. Confusion spread through the warriors stumbled and clicked wildly, unable to coordinate. It gave the humans the opening they needed. They pushed into the outpost ruins, placed explosive charges on weakened walls, creating a new path downward. The explosions were controlled, precise. Each blast opened the way deeper into the facility. Approaching reactor level, reported. Temperature is 190 and rising. Radiation levels critical, added. Suits are holding, but we have maybe 30 minutes before exposure becomes lethal. They found the first scientist in a sealed room. She was, her suit nearly out of water, grabbed her gently. You are safe now. We are getting you out. 2 more levels down. The heat was terrible. Even in radiation suits, the humans were sweating heavily. They could feel the reactor's pulse through the floor. And then they found the Queen's chamber. It was massive. The cavern stretched in all directions. Workers covered every surface. Warriors stood guard. And there in the center was the Queen herself. She pulsed and moved, laying eggs constantly. There, pointed, in a small sealed room near the back, 2 more scientists huddled together. They were trapped. The only way to reach them was through the Queen. We need a distraction, said. I will do it, Minyu volunteered. I can draw them off. Not alone, said. Go with him, and I will get the scientists. The team split. Minyu and opened fire on the Queen. Not to kill her, that would be impossible, but to make her angry. It worked. She shrieked. The sound shook the entire chamber. Warriors poured toward the 3 humans. And moved fast. They reached the sealed room, forced the door. The 2 scientists inside were barely conscious, and Anda both near death. We have them, said. She lifted both gently, heading back. But the Queen had noticed them. She turned her massive head and screamed. More warriors came. The path back was blocked. We are trapped, said. Looked at the reactor core. It pulsed with deadly energy. An idea formed. A terrible, dangerous idea. Can you overload the reactor? Yes, but it will explode. We will have maybe 2 minutes to evacuate. Do it, ordered. Everyone get ready to run. His fingers flew over the controls. The reactor began to whine. Its pulse grew faster, hotter. Done, shouted. 2 minutes move. The humans ran. They carried the rescued scientists. Behind them, the reactor screamed. The sensed danger and scattered. The Queen shrieked in fury. They made it to the surface with seconds to spare. The ship was already there, door open. They threw themselves inside. The ship lifted off. Behind them, the moon's surface erupted. The reactor exploded, tearing through the underground hive. The Queen's scream cut off abruptly. Fire and stone flew into the sky. In the command center, everyone watched in stunned silence. "They did it," said. "They actually did it." "They destroyed the Queen," added, "and saved 3 more people. Impossible." N spread his wings wide. "Not impossible, not for them." The human ship returned to the station. This time, when they docked, the entire coalition was waiting to greet them. The Coalition Council chamber was full. Representatives from every species stood or sat or floated in their designated spaces. At the center, the 6 humans stood quietly. They looked tired. Their suits were damaged and dirty, but they stood with dignity and calm. N looked around the room. Some faces showed gratitude, others showed fear, a few showed both. "This council has gathered," began, "to discuss the human situation." "Situation?" asked. "Is there a problem?" A reptilian council member named Sax spoke up. His scales were dark red with agitation. "You destroyed an entire moon section. You fought through conditions that would kill any of us. You succeeded at missions we deemed impossible." He paused. "Many of us are asking, are humans too dangerous to exist in coalition space?" The room erupted in argument. Some agreed. Others defended the humans. Voices rose in a dozen languages. Slammed her hand on her desk. Water sloshed in her suit. "Silence! They saved 26 of our people. They destroyed a queen. They did what we could not." "That is exactly the problem," Sax replied. "They can do what we cannot. What if they turn that power against us?" Did not look angry, he looked sad. "We came because you asked for help. We risked our lives for your people, and now you fear us." "Can you blame us?" another council member asked. "You are predators. Your world is classified as hell itself. You are built to survive and kill. How can we trust that?" Stepped forward. "May I speak?" And nodded. "Please." "You are right," said. "We are predators. Earth made us that way, but being a predator is not the same as being evil. Yes, we can fight. Yes, we can endure pain, but do you know what else Earth taught us?" The room waited. "It taught us to protect the pack. It taught us that survival means helping each other. When our ancestors lived in caves, they did not survive alone. They survived together. The strong protected the weak. The healthy cared for the sick. Those who could hunt fed those who could not." Her voice grew stronger. "That is what makes us human, not our strength, our compassion." Spoke next. Her voice was harder but honest. "I am a soldier. I know how to kill, but I choose who I protect. And I choose to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is what soldiers do. That is what honor means." Raised his hand. "I am an engineer. I build things. I fix things. I could use my knowledge to destroy, yes, but I choose to create, to help, because that is more important than being clever or strong." "Mean you?" and nodded in agreement. Looked around the room. "Let me tell you about Earth, about our history. Maybe then you will understand." The room quieted. Everyone wanted to hear. "Our planet had ice ages, periods where everything was frozen and most life died. We survived. Our planet had super volcanoes that blocked out the sun for years. We survived. We had plagues that killed millions. We survived. We had wars. Terrible wars where we fought each other with weapons that could destroy continents. We survived." He paused. The weight of those words hung in the air. "But we learned something from all that suffering. We learned that violence is not strength. Real strength is choosing peace. Real strength is helping others even when it costs us. Real strength is never giving up on hope." "You still have wars," Sax challenged. "Your world is not peaceful." "No," admitted. "We are not perfect. We still fight sometimes. We still make mistakes, but we are trying. Every generation tries to be better than the last. That is all anyone can do." N stood. His wings spread wide, a sign of importance in culture. "I want to tell you what I have learned about humans. They carried our people through fire. They ran for hours to save strangers. They went back into danger when they could have stayed safe. They risked death for 3 people they had never met." He looked at Yes, they are dangerous, but they are dangerous to our enemies, not to us. They are dangerous to those who would hurt the innocent, and that is exactly the kind of dangerous we need. Stood as well. I vote for full coalition membership. Humans have proven themselves as allies and friends. Glowed brightly, his sign of strong emotion. I agree. I was afraid at first, but now I see. They are not monsters, they are heroes. One by one, council members stood or signaled their agreement. Even Sachs eventually lowered his head in acceptance. I vote yes, though I still think they are terrifying. Smiled. We think you are all terrifying too, in a good way. You explore the stars, you build peaceful societies. You have achieved things we are only beginning to understand. We have much to learn from you. General stepped forward. Then it is decided. Humanity is granted full membership in the coalition. Furthermore, I propose we establish a joint military force, the Human Defense Corps, for missions that require special skills. We accept, said, but on one condition: we fight only to protect, never to conquer. That is not who we are. Agreed, said. The council chamber erupted in cheers and sounds of approval. Different species celebrated in different ways, but they all celebrated together. Later, N found in the observation deck. The human was watching the stars through the large window. How do you feel? N asked. Tired, admitted with a small laugh, but good, happy. I want to thank you, personally. You did not have to help us, you did not have to risk everything. Turned to him. Yes, we did. That is what makes life worth living. Helping others, making friends, building something good together. Your people will do great things in the coalition, N said. We will try, replied, with friends like you to guide us. They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Human and predator and prey, friend and friend. An alarm chimed softly, not an emergency but an alert. N checked his data pad and his feathers ruffled with concern. What is it? Asked. A distress call from the outer rim. A colony is under attack by raiders. Was already moving toward the door. I will gather my team. Wait, and called. You just returned, you need rest. Paused and smiled. People need help, we help, that is what neighbors do, remember. He left to find the others. N watched him go and felt that strange feeling in his chest again. Hope, pride, joy. Yes, humans were dangerous. Yes, they came from a world that should not exist. Yes, they could fight and endure and survive things that would destroy any other species. But they were also kind, brave, loyal, everything the coalition needed and more. In the docking bay, the human team gathered. They checked weapons and equipment. They looked tired but determined. Was loading medical supplies. Same as before, get in, get people out. Nodded, simple, I like simple. Grinned, anyone want to bet I can fix their systems faster than last time? No bet, mean, you said with a laugh. You always win. Looked at his team, his friends, his family, everyone ready. Always, they answered together. The ship launched into the dark. On the station, coalition species watched it go. The humans were heading toward danger again, toward the impossible, toward people who needed help. And everyone knew they would succeed. Because that is what humans did. Turned to N. Do you think they will ever stop, ever just rest? N thought about it. He thought about Earth, that terrible, beautiful world. He thought about a species that evolved in constant danger and learned to protect each other instead of just themselves. No, he said finally, they will never stop. As long as someone needs help, they will answer. That is what makes them human. That is what makes them heroes, added, floating beside them. General joined the group. The galaxy is lucky we found them, or they found us. I think, N said, we found each other, and we are all better for it. In the darkness of space, the human ship flew toward another mission. Another impossible rescue. Another chance to prove that strength without compassion is weakness, and that the truly strong protect those who cannot protect themselves. They had learned that lesson, so had the Coalition. And soon the entire galaxy would know. When you need help, when the darkness seems too strong, when hope seems lost, there is one call you can make. Call the humans. They will come, and they will bring hope with them.